Hello, my YouTubers. Oh no, I have managed to find the most offensive looking things ever. Let's cut that out. That was ridiculous. Welcome to AP World History. This is Mr. Bartlett. I'm going to talk about three words today. I should delete that whole intro. That was ridiculous. I just found these things on my computer, and I'm a little embarrassed. But let's talk about the three words. Today's three words that we're going to look at are reincarnation, Siddhartha Gautama, and the Tamils. So I'll start with the Tamils because they kind of don't fit with the other two, and it makes more sense to talk about them first. So the Tamils were southern Indians, and these southern Indians were important. They were southern Indian traders. They lived on the coast, and they were seafarers, which means they were good at getting on boats and trading. So they traded in not only in India but in the Middle East throughout the Roman Empire. They got goods from China. They got silk and gold and different dyes and spices, and were able to kind of connect. The importance of them was that they were able to connect India to the Indian Ocean, kind of the early Indian Ocean trading network. So this is important for trans-regional contact for India, and it's a good thing economically for India. So the next word is, let's go backwards, Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha Gautama is the Buddha, and was the founder of Buddhism, and lived about 500 years BCE, and formed one of the most significant religious philosophies and traditions in that region of the world, and indeed in the world. So who is he and what did he do? He used to be an Indian prince who really had no worries in the world. He was kind of like an heir, and would have tons of money and lived in the palace and didn't have to do anything. Could just kind of sit around, eat nice foods, and wear nice clothes and go to cool dinners. And it wasn't until he was a little bit older, he was about my age, 70, 78. I'm just kidding. In his 30s, when he went outside the palace gates and was kind of riding around on a cart and saw suffering and saw death, that people died and that people suffered. And this greatly disturbed Siddhartha Gautama. And so he kind of quit his job of being really rich and moved out into the wilderness and decided to ponder and meditate about what life was really about. And so he spent some time out there, a good 6 years or so, meditating, eventually reached enlightenment and said, I have figured it out. I know what life is all about. And so what did he figure out? He figured out that life, to live is to suffer. Life is pain. And that living really kind of hurts. And the cause of this pain, he figured out, was our desires, things that we constantly want stuff, and we want more and more and more. And the way to happiness is to get rid of that desire and to get rid of those selfish desires of wanting things. And in order to do that, you had to follow the Eightfold Path of Buddhism, which is kind of a code of conduct for how to live. So you gotta speak correctly, you gotta act correctly, you got to meditate correctly, you gotta have the right frame of mind, you have to have the right knowledge, and kind of just the ways to becoming a better person. So it's like steps to being a good person. So Buddhism caught on again. A significance is it caught on with Ashoka, the Mauryan emperor, who converted to Buddhism and spread it around. Through his efforts, Buddhism became strong in India and then in Southeast Asia, where monasteries were set up for Buddhist monks to study and to learn more about the Buddha and to become enlightened themselves. And Buddhists embrace this idea that people should become enlightened by being better people and compassionate and loving to each other. So it was a nonviolent tradition. It was also a tradition that believed in reincarnation. And reincarnation, let's skip to this word and we'll kind of relate it to Buddhism and Hinduism. Reincarnation is the idea that the soul is reborn into a new body after death. And so it's a continuous cycle of rebirth until the human or the soul can escape that cycle. In Hinduism, that means to be reborn and reincarnated into higher castes until you reach the ultimate reality and reunite with the Brahman and escape that cycle of rebirth. In Buddhism, the idea of reincarnation is that humans will continue to, the soul will be continued to be reborn until the person or the soul reaches nirvana, which is this enlightened idea that the Buddha reached, and then you escape that cycle of rebirth as well. So the idea of reincarnation is really a guide to moral behavior. Whereas a monotheistic religion, such as Christianity or Islam, believes in this one life, one shot, and if you blow it, you go to hell and you suffer eternally. A Buddhist or Hindu would believe that you would be reborn lower and your life would be worse, but that would encourage you to be better in your next life, and then you would move on until you reach eventually that escaping the cycle, which to a monotheist would be something like reaching heaven. So it's a moral guide to behavior, very similar in a lot of the major world religions that attempt to instill morals in the people. And reincarnation is very similar to both Hinduism and Buddhism. That's all I'm going to end with today. I might end up throwing a few more videos on this chapter since there was only 8 vocab words, and it would be helpful to see a few more things. So stay tuned, and don't forget to be awesome.